Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Anytime Anywhere podcast, or welcome to if this is your first time tuning in. I'm Jaleesa Kalya, the host of this lovely chat session that occurs twice a week, and that is the sound of messed up roads that need to be fixed. And the city is just like, man, whatever. So again, if this is your first time tuning in, then you know that this is the Anytime Anywhere podcast, where you're liable to hear anything at any given time. So you're gonna hear some rumbling, some bumbling, troubling, but I have something special coming very, very soon. To anyone that has been listening, shout out to you. I appreciate you so much for, getting the views up there by watching and tuning in. Whenever you do tune in, I trust that it is falling on the ears and eyes and hearts of those who are, in a positive space, who are listening with a curious but open mind and heart, who are not listening to judge or who think they, know me and you're just on some weird stuff. Thank you. I mean, I guess I gotta say thank you either way, because the views is gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? This is just, the views are gonna go up. And not only are the views going up, if you're watching and you're not in a positive space, or you aren't watching from a positive view, I guess I still want to say thank you, because I'm like, I have a place in, your world. So that's big. That's big. How you gonna go big on big? Like, if you're not really picking up what I'm putting down and you're listening from, a negative viewpoint, it's just like, well, I mean, I still, claim residence in your world. So thank you. And the rent is free. It's cheap in here. It don't smell like roaches. It pays me, it costs me nothing to be in your world. So thank you for making room, But today is Thursday. Y'all, just imagine if somebody who's not really banging with the content like that, who don't really like the idea of me, just imagine if that were to be true. It's not true, okay? We don't claim haters. We don't claim any negative energy. We rebuke that over here. We send that back to sender. But what if that was the case and they listening? Like, imagine a hater listening, just hypothetically, because like I said, they don't exist. But imagine somebody disliking what's going on over here and they're listening, and they hear some shit like that. Like, it reminds me of those memes that be like, imagine not liking me and I'm over here in my own world, fucking Harlem shaking in the mirror. Like, but I don't take this shit seriously. And I just gotta control myself. I have to control my tongue, because if we're trying to, we're trying to grow, I'm taking away monetization, just cursing like a sailor. But no, today is Thursday, Thriving Thursdays. Hopefully you all have had a wonderful day. I had a pretty good day. Going into the fall, I'm realizing my days are getting longer, or maybe it just feels that way. Do y'all feel like that too? Now that the weather is, getting cooler and the holidays are approaching, it's just like, I don't know, the days is just seeming long. And the need to hurry up and get in the crib is just stronger and stronger. Like, that energy is just stronger. Like, outsiding is just yeah, get me in the house. But I have to take care of business and, get things done. However, I am serious about, like, being sensitive to being outside and, being exposed to the elements. Like, this cold weather is not my favorite. Like, I'm a fall baby. My birthday is in the fall. Shout out to all the Scorpios and the Sagittarius and the Capricorns too. Shout out to y'all. We about to do our big one. However, and shout out to the Libras. Right now we're celebrating the Libras. Let's not. Okay, phone. I understand. I have this. I turned on this thing on my phone where it tells me whether or not I'm too close to my phone as far as vision and sight goes, and it just came on. So hopefully y'all can still hear me. This shit takes forever to go away. I don't know. I might take this off because there's low-key a glitch. It's just staying on my phone. Do y'all have that on y'all phone? It's only on iPhone. Well, I'm not going to say only on iPhones. I have an iPhone, so I'm assuming it's an iPhone thing. But it could be an Android thing because you know how iPhone do. They like to take stuff from Androids. But, yeah, I was going through my settings yesterday and I saw it. And I was like, hell yeah, turn this on. Because I know when I be feeling I've just been having my phone too close to my freaking face, and what better way to know, or not to know, when you have your phone too close to your face, right? However, sometimes you could be just so in the zone of whatever the hell it is that you're doing on your phone that your sense of perception is just not there. You're just lost, and you need that reminder to say, hey, hello, your phone is too close to your face. Back up. So I put that setting on my phone yesterday, and at first it was working fine. It'll alert me, hey, your phone is too close. You need to back up. Back it up. And I would back up, and then, maybe within 3 seconds, it would allow you to press continue to, continue on. Okay, I got the message. My phone is too close to my face. Thank you for letting me know. And then it would go away. But now, it's been 24 hours, and I'll move my phone away from my face, of course, and it'll still be up there. It won't go away. I'll have to turn my phone off and turn it back on. I don't know. I don't like that. But let me know, do y'all have that setting on? And if you do, are you experiencing that problem as well? I don't know. Maybe it's just this phone. I'll put it on my other phone and see if the same thing occurs. Because I'm thinking maybe it's because this phone is older. But I don't know. I don't see it being that. Could be, could not be. I don't know. But either way, yeah, y'all, getting back to being outside, I guess it's just because hibernation season is approaching rapidly. I just feel the need to just cover and veil, and if I don't need to be outside, I don't want to be outside. Now, of course, I do want to get my sun, my daily dose of sun, and be by the water if I can. And not every now and then, there's nothing wrong with feeling a cool breeze go across your face, or just kind of sweep past your body. I don't know. However, I've been on the East Coast all my life. I've never lived on the West Coast or anything like that as of yet. So I've experienced all 4 seasons. Where I'm from, we get all 4 seasons, and I'm not gonna miss the cold weather. Now there is a certain crispness to the air and a certain feeling that you get once fall approaches, and for a little bit it's enjoyable. You could be yes, thank you, but overall, I could do without it, and it just makes me want to stay in the house. I don't be wanting to be outside. And even more now, because I travel a lot, I'm starting to see, I want to say, what is it? It's October what's today? The 9th, I think today is the 9th, y'all. Yeah, today is the 9th. I want to say for the last 2 weeks, it started out with pumpkins. But now, of course, because we're actually in October, now I'm seeing, you know, all the different Halloween decorations on people's homes and stuff. Like, it's just ridiculous. I feel like every year the decorations get more and more like questionable and like more, I don't want to use this word, but I guess the best way to describe it and for y'all to get what I'm like meaning is like demonic. Like, I mean, we all know what Halloween is, okay? We all know what it entails. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I was a little kid, of course, like I didn't know any better. Like I loved horror movies. I loved being scared. I don't know why. Like, and maybe love is not the proper word. I just got something from being frightened. I guess it's the thrill of it all. Like, you know how they have movie genres and they'll have like horror or they'll have like thriller or, you know, suspense and shit like that. I feel like as I've grown, I like my choice in movies when it comes to like that side of the field has grown. Like at first I loved horror films, you know, scare me. I was a kid who grew up watching Tales from the Crypt. Like I shouldn't have been watching that. Like I kind of put those shows and movies that are demonic or horror filled or like are thrillers in the same category that I would something that's sexually explicit or that has a lot of cursing or, you know, mature content. It's not for children. However, I was exposed to it and I was allowed to watch it. And yeah, I was watching Tales from the Crypt. And even though I thought that Tales from the Crypt lived in my like apartment building basement, just given how the basement was set up, that's a whole nother topic. I thought Tales from the Crypt lived in like my apartment building's basement. It was just very creepy. If any of you know how Tales from the Crypt begins, like he takes you through like this little, y'all, don't get me started. That's a whole nother topic. But how Tales from the Crypt begins, like you go through this home and I think you go through like the living room and the basement and all, like you have to travel to get to where the crypt keeper is, and he like pops out of like a coffin or something and it looks like a basement. I don't know, it's been so long since I've watched that show, but that was my jam when I was younger, okay? And wherever it was spooky or creepy or just gave weird bad vibes, I thought the crypt keeper existed. So yeah, I thought that he lived in my basement. Like, but it still didn't stop me from watching the show. I just didn't want to go in the basement. And why, might you ask that? Why would I ever need to go in my apartment building's basement? I don't know. But I was a very adventurous kid. I was curious about a lot. So I would just venture off. Like I was left alone a lot in certain instances. So I would just venture off and see what was what, you know. And I had opened the basement door one day and it just gave Tales from the Crypt. And I was like, oh, hell no. You don't gotta worry about me going down there again. Like, I don't need no convincing. The crypt keeper lives down there. Like, why would I go down there? I can just see you on TV. I don't need to experience you in real life. So we're not going in that basement no more. We're not gonna look over across the street into the park because it looks crazy creepy over there too. And I bet you when he's not in the basement, the crypt keeper is over there chilling in the park. Like wherever it was creepy at, you couldn't convince me that the crypt keeper didn't live over there. So yeah. but anyway, as a child, like I became conditioned to watch certain things that was scary. You had Freddy Krueger, you had, you know, the guy with the scream mask, and, you know, just Jason and different things. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't become a big fan of those movies. Now, one that I did watch and I was most familiar with was, I just said his name, Freddy Krueger. He was the main one in my childhood that I watched the most. Out of everybody else, I seen little bits and pieces, but they didn't really do it for me. Especially if you didn't talk. Like, okay, you're just weird. Like, you just hunt people down, you pop up, you kill people, but you're not talking. Like, you're not really giving me anything. Crazy, I know, but that's just how it was. But yeah, I grew up watching spooky stuff. And if it wasn't by myself, it was with my family members or with kids that, you know, I was friends with. We would go over their house and we would have sleepovers and watch spooky stuff. Like, that's just what you did as a kid. We being scared was fun, you know. Candyman, seeing it in the bathroom, in the mirror with the lights out. Like, why the hell was we doing it? Like, why did we think that was fun? But we just mimicked stuff that we saw. And you had older kids around sometimes that would be like, come on, y'all want to do it? Y'all want to see if it's going to happen? And a part of you is like, hell no. But then the other part is like, damn, what if it really works? Like, fuck, I want to see. That's the curiosity, you know. And they say curiosity kills the cat. But until I became an adult, I didn't know that there was another part to it. Curiosity killed the cat. However, satisfaction brought that cat back. So I guess that was the part that I never heard of. However, just innately, in some way, shape, or form, like, you just know, like, all right, you know, if something does happen, and it's funny because somebody's license plate says dark. how fitting. Like, if it does happen, then shit, I mean, I want a pink coffin. And if it doesn't happen, then, you know, me being curious just, you know, just happened to prove that, oh, this shit is not real, you know, or that I'm good either way. I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed being scared. You know, once I got to a certain age and me and my family moved to a neighborhood where there were other children around and we became friends with them and our parents became tight, you know, now I was allowed to go trick-or-treating. You know, now we were allowed to venture out and celebrate and do what other kids were doing and partake in school activities surrounded around holidays. And of course, going into, you know, the fourth quarter of the year, you got Halloween, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, back to back to back, all lined up. So of course, the first one is Halloween. Like, yeah, we celebrating. If, you know, they allow us to dress up at school, we're dressing up. We're, you know, and it doesn't always have to be demonic, you know, but I don't know, as a kid, my go-to was a witch. Like, don't ask me why. Maybe it came from watching Tales from the Crypt. Maybe it came from TV. I don't know, but my go-to was a witch, and I was a witch up until I stopped trick-or-treating as a kid. And I want to say that probably stopped, when did I stop trick-or-treating for myself? I stopped trick-or-treating for myself and dressing up as a child. I stopped dressing up, I want to say maybe around about like 11, 12, okay? And I started like around 11, 12, I hyper-focused on my siblings. Because like I said, I had friends around, you know, when I was younger, some were older, and their parents who saw to it that we had a good Halloween experience. And if nothing was going on in our neighborhood, then I had friends and their parents who would take us to like neighborhoods that were thriving, that did give out candy, that were popping, you know, because they felt as though our neighborhood was just trash and not enough people believed in Halloween or were willing to give out candy. So we would travel to like different parts of towns just to go trick-or-treating, just to make sure our bags were filled to the T. And once that bag was filled up, then you grabbing another bag from somewhere else to get more and more candy. Y'all, like, candy was lasting us for like 2 months. That's just how much candy we was getting and how important trick-or-treating and Halloween had become. So me having that experience, once I got to a certain age and just being the oldest, now I want my siblings, oh my gosh, I apologize, y'all. Now I know this is the Anytime Anywhere podcast, but some stuff just be over, like, it just be too much. Like, I don't like that shit. The fuck? Y'all need to fix these roads. Like, y'all know I'm trying to record a damn podcast, and you got the roads all beat up like that. Like, please give me a break. But yeah, once I got to a certain age and being the oldest, like, I always hyper focus on my siblings having the same experience as me or better, because I knew what it was like to not have a certain experience. So yeah, I hyper focus on my siblings dressing up and, being able to go trick-or-treating, because either my parents were at work or they couldn't afford costumes or whatever. So I was going out of my way to, like, make sure they had a good experience. So I stopped dressing up, and then I made it my duty. Nobody forced me to. I'm just being clear. Nobody forced me to, but I made it my mission and duty to, like I said, make sure that they had a good Halloween. So I would spend, my last little coins as a little tween, as a little preteen, and, new teenager, making sure that they had costumes, or they could at least get their face painted, or, have something going on to where people will receive them while they're out trick-or-treating. Like, we not just gonna go plainly clothed, no paint on your face, no costume, no nothing, and going saying trick-or-treat. I mean, they might still give you candy, but they not gonna be, they're gonna be a little reluctant, like, well, you didn't at least try? You just came outside and said, yeah, I'm gonna get some candy. I mean, which is nothing wrong with it. I see kids do it now and days, like, shit, they don't have it. I used to just go out of my way and break my fucking back for a holiday that is not even worth celebrating. That's my viewpoint on it now. Okay? Because it's just been recent that I've told myself, like, yeah, I'm not celebrating these holidays no more. Like, I've said it over, like, the last, I want to say, between 5 to 8 years, I've been telling myself, like, I'm not celebrating these holidays no more. And each year, it becomes more and more apparent while I personally choose not to, and why it's not for me anymore. But this year, I'm, like, dead set on, like, yeah, no, I'm not celebrating anything. I'm not extending myself or putting my energy towards any of these holidays. No shade to anyone who does. It's just my own personal preference, and I'm not going to talk down on anyone who does. However, getting back to the topic, just being out in the world and seeing how people go out of their way, how I used to, seeing how people go out of their way to decorate their homes for Halloween specifically, just because, that's the holiday that's coming up now. Y'all, the shit is demonic as hell. Like, looking at the effort that people put into decorating their homes and their lawns, and, the different things that they buy, I'm just like, okay, I'm all for self-expression. However, like, what's going on with you for real? Like, what's really good with you that you want to put, like, have, like, dismembered body parts and different things in your front yard? Like, this is what you think about when you think of Halloween? Like, body parts cut up. You got a bunch of skeletons everywhere. You got a bunch of skeletons dressed up like everyday people. You got the dog being walked by a skeleton dog being walked by a skeleton pregnant lady. Or, you got a skeleton crossing guard making sure that skeleton children get across the street. Like, when I say that theatrics and everything that these people put into these damn decorations are top tier, fucking top tier. Like, I know it took you probably 2 weeks to get all this shit up. So much so that I've seen, like, certain decorations, like, they'll have these big ass house size skeletons in their yard, and they won't take the shit down. Like, after Halloween is over, now they dressing it up with, like, Halloween. Now the skeleton is dressed up as Santa Claus. Like, now the bride at Chucky is now Mrs. Claus. Like, they said, fuck it, I'm not taking this shit down. It took too much effort and too much time, and I paid too much to put this stuff up. Now we gonna funnel it into Christmas too. Like, the skeletons got the Christmas spirit now. But focusing on Halloween, like, y'all, dead ass, like, it's just so demonic, a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing. they're putting every freaking I said feeking. They're putting every like killer you can think of from the movies on their front yard. Every witch that you can imagine in their front yard. The witches riding the brooms over top of their house. You got little demons crawling up their home, up the side of their homes onto their roof, like, y'all. And again, I was somebody who used to celebrate this stuff, and I'm not holier than thou. I'm not trying to come across like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not trying to talk about this from a religious, you know, aspect, or from like a judgmental aspect. It's just like being in the space that I'm in now, it just, you know, makes me wonder where the joy for these feelings comes from. You know, like, do we genuinely like this shit, or is it just the fact that you haven't really broken out of it? You know, being conditioned with celebrating this shit. Have you just not been, oh my gosh, this is like the worst, the worst way home. Like, again, I apologize for the noise, but hey, thanks if you're listening. I really appreciate you. But this is real shit. This is real life. But getting back to the topic, like, why do you find joy in this? Now, it's one thing to, you know, you know, like, but I don't know if people really realize what they're conjuring up when they just take it to a certain level. Like, I'm all for, like, you know, mystic shit. And maybe that's what it was. Like, I still love to, you know, go to the depths of certain topics and, you know, research certain things. And I'm not afraid of the dark. You know what I'm saying? Or what might be uncovered in the shadows on some real life shit. If you want some spooky shit, do the work. Like, uncover those real life shadows. Not this demonic ass, wannabe spooky ass Michael Jackson thriller ass shit. Now I will still like a good little this is thriller, but even now it's just like, why you had to go there? But I'm pretty sure it was a message. You know what I'm saying? Like, now being an adult, like, damn, Mike, like, what was you really? I mean, what was you really hitting on? But yeah, I would have to take pictures and insert them so y'all could really, like, understand what it is that I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure you probably see it in your neighborhood, or hell, you might be somebody who really get a kick out of it as well. And like I said, I'm not judging. It's just like, when I look at it now from the eyes that I have now, because my old eyes could be like, I see how this shit, like, yo, taking kids trick-or-treating, we would freak out from this shit, like, yo, oh my gosh, that's so fucking decent. Like, look how they did that. And they got the bodies wrapped and they're hanging from a tree, or they got the bodies wrapped, or these fake bodies, and, you know, they're in plastic bags and they're inside of a coffin and it has blood shooting out. Like, oh my gosh. And look, like, it's a demon handing you candy. Like, oh my gosh. Like, listen, now, looking at it from the perception that I have now and what I know now, you gotta be careful. Like, you really have to be careful what you allow into your spirit, what you allow yourself to see, what you allow yourself to partake in. Because not for nothing, like, one of the last times I went with, like, my nieces and nephews and my younger siblings, like, we had made a tradition out of, like, since we were younger, of going trick-or-treating, and then us becoming the new adults. Like, we made it like a thing to celebrate all the holidays and, you know, take the kids out and just keep the tradition going, like, have family time, experience it together. But y'all, one time we went out, it was like witches, no fucking lie. Like, we were going down one little ducky block. Mind you, this is in, like, you know, a gentrified neighborhood. So there's the YTs And of course they're giving out candy. They love this shit. So of course we gonna go to the neighborhoods, and I learned that from a young age, seeing my friends' parents take us to neighborhoods where they really giving out candy. You know, they really love, man, I love this shit, man, I love and they're really giving out candy. So we're mimicking the same things. Oh, we gotta hit the good neighborhoods where, you know, they're giving out candy. So of course we're in a gentrified neighborhood, you know, all for the name of candy and being spooked. So we're in this neighborhood. We're walking past now. There's a church in the middle of, or kind of like catty corner, on this one block. And a reason why I'm calling them witches is because only witches do shit like this on the night of Halloween. And if you don't know, I'm gonna let you know that Halloween Day isn't just a random day. Like, you know, there's other things going on spiritually and in this realm. Joker car, somebody with Joker spray painted over their car just rolled by. I can't make this shit up. Like, if I get to a point where I can take a picture, oh no, he's getting in front of these cars that are in front of me, so I'm not gonna be able to take a picture. Y'all just gotta believe me. Like, anything I say, I'm not making up. Like, fuck. Like, you just gotta believe me. And you don't have to, but you know, it would behoove you to, because I'm not lying. But yeah, so Halloween isn't just a day, oh, they chose the 31st for this for you know, just a random day. Like, no, there's shit going on spiritually and in different realms that we don't see and we don't know about, and there's different energies that's going on, which makes Halloween Day even more significant than what we know it to be. And the veil is really thin, you know what I'm saying, on this day during this time. So you have to be careful. There's all types of shit, and this is one of the reasons why people go cloak and mask and be something else and something different, because of the energy that's going on during this time. And you can embody whoever and whatever you want and give off a certain energy and a certain message of whatever and whoever you want. If you want to be a bubblegum princess, you know, the veil is thin, which not in totality, but to a certain extent allows you to embody that energy. You don't have to be yourself. You don't have to show up as your normal everyday self during this time, which is why, if any of y'all seen the movie, what the hell was that movie called? Where they get to, for a day, kill. I can't think of the name. If you know the name, put it in the comments. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they made like multiple, you know, sequels to this movie. But like that movie, people are dressing up as clowns and just different shit and going out and doing the killing. Why are you not going out and doing the killing as yourself? Why you gotta dress up as something else? You know what I'm saying? You're embodying or taking on a certain spirit, a certain energy to assist you in doing what it is that you plan on doing. In their case, you know, it was killing motherfuckers. Like, they was really out here, you know, killing people, and they didn't want to do it as their everyday normal self, so they cloaked or put on a mask or dressed up or whatever, and they went and did that shit. So just keep that in mind. But back to the story. So we're walking the kids, we bang down this one little ducky block because we see everybody going down this block, so we know, like, fuck it, we going down this block. Not just because people were going down there, but you know, the whole neighborhood is trick-or-treating in this specific neighborhood. Like, when I say people be out there, they be out there. So everybody's just going in different directions. There's large groups everywhere. We're just with a certain type of group. Well, not a certain type of group, but we just happen to be amongst this certain group, okay? So, but we're not together. We're just all out trick-or-treating. And, you know, we just all have the sense that, yo, we bang down this block is some good shit. Why? Because it's so spooky and every house is decorated. So you know for a fact that they giving out candy. So we bang down this one ducky block, and there's a church right there. The whole block is kind of dark. The only thing that's keeping it lit is, like, the decorations from people's homes and this big ass light shining from the church door. And as we're walking, we're getting closer and closer, and we hear singing, or what we think to be singing. So we're like, oh my gosh, y'all, look, what they doing? And as we're approaching the church and getting closer to the group that's singing, we realize these motherfuckers is huddled in a circle and they're like cloaked, hoods over their head. Like, you can see their faces, but they have like, I don't know if y'all seen that episode of Martin when he went away, excuse me, and they was talking about some Najee Ramba and shit like that, and Martin had half his hair plaited and the other half wasn't. Like, that cloak that he had on, they had on cloaks like that, but they were black. So maybe like a witch's cloak or whatever, Little Red Riding Hood cloak, I don't know. All I know is the shit looked like a cape and it had a hood on it, and they all had their hoods on. And they're in a circle fucking chanting and singing, and the cloak, like, from afar it seemed like, oh, this is the spirit of Halloween. And, you know, it just feels like you're in a Nickelodeon special, you know, a Goosebumps special or whatever for Halloween. Cool. But the closer that we got, the more you could feel the energy. And it was like, oh, they not just doing this shit for play. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really in this shit, and it's really going down. Like, they're really over here having a seance off of the energy and the people who are out here celebrating. And this is the perfect fucking time, because who's gonna really question it unless you're like aware? I mean, me and my people was questioning. We was like, what the fuck? Like, they really out here having a seance in the middle of, you know, the street in front of this church. They're really channeling energy, and they're like, what the hell? Like, what the hell for real? Like, on all platforms, what the hell? Are you going to hell? Are you channeling hell? Did you come from hell? Why are you doing this? You know, kids just out here trying to get candy. Like, we not trying to get serious. I mean, like, why are you being so serious with this demonic shit? Listen, and that right there was one of the things that really, like, opened my eyes even more. And I was like, yeah, the veil is really thin. And there's other occurrences that happen leading up to Halloween or during Halloween, or while, you know, taking the kids out to trick or treat. Oh my gosh, this man is having car trouble. It's not his fault though. Shut up, y'all. Damn. But Can I go? Come on, FedEx me and let me go. Thank you. Hopefully his car starts to work. That's a bummer. But yeah, there's other instances that happened that just, you know, solidified it even more for me. Like, yeah, now is not the time to be playing around with this energy. You know, if you can, stay in the house. You know, say your prayers. Like I said, I'm not trying to come off as like, oh, I'm so religious or nothing. Religion has nothing to do with it. It's just where the frequency and the energy that I vibrate on now is just, I prefer not to partake in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other things I could be doing with the energy that goes on during Halloween versus like being out here amongst the goblins and ghouls and the fucking witches and all that. Yeah, I just don't like it. And when I be riding past these houses and these different homes and these neighborhoods, y'all, it's so crazy that even like people are more and more, like, I've seen it in the past, but there's more and more people that are starting to decorate their cars. Like, public transportation is starting to take part in it. Like, in my city, the public transportation system, like, you'll see certain buses and certain trolleys and shit decorated for Halloween. You'll get on and it's spooky shit hanging down. Like, I'm just trying to get from here to there. Like, I don't want a fucking spider hanging down in my face. Like, what are you really doing? Like, damn, I can't even pick and choose if I want to celebrate the shit. Like, it's all just in your face. And I don't find joy in being spooked anymore. You know, like I said, I'm curious of certain things. I love mysticism. I love, you know, uncovering and exploring dark shit, but dark shit that's really gonna make a difference. And sometimes it won't make a difference. Like, you know, it's just, you find out things and you're like, wow, I never knew that was that, or wow, that's crazy, or wow, that's deep, that's dark. But I want to be able to pick and choose. You know, I don't want what you're trying to force in front of me, you know, death and murder and kill, and eat and drink blood and all this, I don't really need that, you know, in my face, or I don't need that playing into my psyche if I have not invited it in. And I feel like Halloween is just one of those holidays that does that. Like, it's everywhere. You can't really escape it. Like a lot of things, you know, you just have to, like I said, say your prayers, you know, protect yourself as best as possible. But it's just like, I don't really care for it. I don't know. Let me know. Have y'all been feeling like that? Like, I feel like if you're listening to this and you're possibly someone who is experiencing, you know, the need to not really partake in the holidays as much as you probably once did, if you ever did. You know, there's some people who just knew from the rip, like, listen, my family, my ancestors and all of them might have partook in this bullshit, but I'm not, okay? Like I said, there's better things that, you know, you could be doing with your time than spending money on these holidays that just hit you back to back to back. Like, I mentioned this in another episode before, but when I was selling on Amazon, there were these calendars that I used to get for like 1 cent, 5 cents, 10 cents. Them shits would sell for like $10. I think the most that I sold these calendars for on Amazon was like between $13 and $15. Mind you, I'm getting them for like cents on a dollar. Between 1 to 10 cents I was getting them for, and I'm flipping them for like anywhere between $10 to $15, y'all. Okay? And they were called, and I'm putting you on game right now, anybody that's selling on Amazon, I no longer do it, but if, you know, you're looking for a side hustle, I don't know how it is now. It seems, I see people still doing it, but I don't know if it still hits like it used to. But anyways, it's this calendar. If you find it, you know, pick it up, resell it, especially if you found it for cheap. Don't buy it for the resale price. Get it for the low if you can. But it's called the title on the calendar is Every Day is a Holiday. Y'all, when I tell y'all, these calendars used to sell for crazy amounts. But more importantly, it really was a holiday every day of the year. Like, we all know there's ice cream day, like pet day, auntie day, uncle day, take your pet for a walk day. Like, there were so many different holidays, and there was literally one every freaking day. We only kind of know about the holidays that, you know, are nationally celebrated, that have you spending large amounts of money, like Super Bowl, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Halloween, you know, Veterans Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, like the main staple holidays. But there was really a holiday every single day, and these freaking calendars proved it. But when you think about celebrating, just imagine if you're someone who's like hard set on celebrating a holiday every day, or, you know, even the main ones, fuck it, take every day out of it, the main holidays, just look at your receipts year to year, you know, do some accounting. How much money are you spending yearly on these holidays? And then after you ask yourself how much money you're spending and you actually do the calculations, ask yourself, has your quality of life gone up or down when it comes to celebrating these holidays, and the amount of money that you put out yearly, monthly, weekly to celebrate these holidays? Now because I know everybody's thinking, this used to be my thing too, oh, you know, it's time to spend with the family. Y'all, we can pick any random day and make that a family day. We can create our own holidays. We can really, like, you know, take matters into our own hands and spend money and put energy into the days and times that mean the most to us, not just when they tell us to. Like, why is it that we gotta wait until Thanksgiving to sit down and have large, you know, dinners with our families? Now, I understand that it may take a lot of time and money to get together to do so. However, like, you can pick any day. You don't have to wait till then. It just has to be a joint effort. Why do we have to wait until Christmas to, you know, decorate and celebrate again gift giving and being generous to our loved ones, and there is a certain energy that you get leading up, to those holidays and things of that nature. However, in totality, listen, it's not worth it to me personally. And I just pose those questions to y'all to give y'all something to think about. Right now, Halloween is what's on the menu, and I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. I don't want it. Send it back. If you agree or you have any thoughts or ideas surrounding what I've been talking about, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. Other than that, to be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you've been feeling with the holidays coming up. Are you in the spirit? Are you not? Have you been thinking about, dismantling the celebration of these holidays? If so, why? And if not, why? I'm open. I want to hear. I want to know different perspectives. But yeah, hype this video up if you can. Like it. Comment. Please comment. I want to talk to y'all. I want to engage with y'all. And subscribe if you feel moved to. And after you're done doing all of that, be sure to love yourself always and always. And I will catch y'all in my next episode. Bye, you guys. Mwah.